Meet the Press has been on television since 1947. It's currently being moderated by my next guest, who has been credited with exposing Ross Perot as a presidential candidate who may not have been all that substantive. Let's take a look.
Now then, this is an interesting game we're playing today. It'd been nice if you'd told me you wanted to talk about this and I'd have had all my facts with me, but you didn't, right?
No,
now,
Mr.
wait just a second.
You have said that part of your $400 billion
I have also told your program
is $180 billion.
Yes, may I finish?
May I finish? It was a simple question.
Well, you've already finished. Go and finish again. It's your program. You can do anything you want to with it. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get a very specific answer to a proposal you've made. That's fair.
Well, I'm trying to answer it.
Please do, sir.
Are you sure you're finished?
Absolutely.
Okay. May I talk?
I wish you would.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now.
Please welcome Tim Russert. Perot did not fare too well on your show. Is that fair to say when he first showed up?
That's my guy. He's different, but he always comes to play. He never lets you down. He always makes some news. There's always some good sexual tension there across the table.
Sexual tension? I wouldn't have guessed that.
That's why he comes up. You don't think so? You don't like that ear span?
Oh, well, come to think of it.
Molly Ivins says he looks like a chihuahua, but I think he's kind of cute.
Now, what? Yes, I think we can all see that now. It's a very sensual man. Why does he keep coming back, do you think? I mean, some people say that when he had some trouble on your show that it may have contributed to his pulling out of the campaign. Do you think that's true, first of all?
I do. He actually took a couple weeks off the campaign trail and hired a new economist and put together a new plan, which is actually quite constructive, as it dealt with the deficit and some other things. He's been back once. And I'm not sure why, but I certainly enjoy his company.
How did he do the second time?
Pretty much along the same lines, and we kept probing for his specific budget cuts. He kept saying, well, I didn't bring my charts. And I said, well, Mr. Perot, you knew what we were going to ask you in terms of the general areas, and your charts are always available, and please feel free to go get them if they're in the green room or wherever else you left them. But not to be.
Now, what do you think of him personally? Have you gotten any sense of the guy personally?
I have. I think he has a very healthy ego, a very healthy ambition. But I also think that he's a patriot who's passionate about the country, and he's well-intentioned. He has an extraordinary family, and he cares deeply about a lot of issues. I do think that he is now bordering on being a little bit too critical without offering really viable solutions and answers.
Well, he has no answers for anything, does he?
Well, some things he does. I mean, he's against NAFTA, for example, North American Free Trade Agreement.
That's not an answer.
But I think, for example, when he criticized President Clinton for raising taxes, his own plan would have raised taxes more than Bill Clinton's.
Nice.
And I also think he wants to be president. And I think you'll see. I think you'll see him run in '96, and he spent $60 million running in '92.
Do you think he hurt his credibility, though, a great deal when he debated Gore?
I do. When he was on Meet the Press and he didn't bring his charts in terms of the budget, and he went on with Gore, the strategy was simple. Bill Clinton was trying to appeal to the undecided Democrats in the House. And he said, look, watch Gore and Perot, and then tell me whose side you're on. And when you make Perot the enemy, it's easy to appeal to the loyalty of your Democratic colleagues. And I think the president's probably going to win his vote on NAFTA in large part.
You think he's going to win?
I do. And I never thought he would. I must tell you, I mean, a month ago, I publicly said this thing is going down. I didn't think the president's heart was in it. But he's really turned around. He's devoted his entire life to it. He's made it a do or die for his presidency, and I think he's going to pull it off.
Do you think that Perot is going to be? You think definitely he's going to be a candidate for the long haul, and that he'll get some of his credibility back?
I do. Don't forget, 19% of the American public voted for him. It's a lot of people, 1 in 5, and there's still a lot of anger out there, as we saw in these previous elections. Plus, he's a character. He's out there. He has his own money, his own plane. He whips it up, and he's fun. He draws pretty decent crowds for a politician. And I also think he takes these things personally. When Al Gore attacked his integrity and saying that he was going to make some money whether NAFTA passed or not, and why couldn't other people share, those are the kinds of things that goaded him into the race against George Bush in '92, and I think we'll see him run in '96.
He'll come back.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to step away for 1 second. We'll have more with Tim Russert when we come back. All right. Tim Russert. You just had an interview with Bill Clinton in the White House, is that right? How long ago was that? Was that a week and a half ago?
A week ago Sunday, yeah.
Now, I have to ask, what is that like? I mean, I think, you know, a lot of us have seen Clinton on TV or something, but you're actually there in the White House. Even if you're a cynical, you know, reporter or broadcaster, what's it like? You
can never get that jaded. I tell you, when you walk in the Oval Office, you realize that you're in someplace important. When the president came down, he had gone out jogging. He already had breakfast. I was hoping he'd lay a little bit of Jimmy Dean pure pork sausage on us or something. Whatever he melts down, he's got a good appetite, as you know. And I'm no slouch. So what the? But you know, it's kind of a nice moment after the interview was over. I was with Tom Brokaw, and we walked over behind the president's desk and looking out the Oval Office window, and he said, "You know, you're a kid from South Buffalo. His dad drove a truck, and my dad built dams out in South Dakota." And Bill Clinton's from Hope, he never saw his dad. He died in a car accident before he was born. And I said, it really is a great country. It's amazing.
Now, I mean, when you go to the White House, when you go to the Oval Office, are you treated like, is there food? Do they give you anything when you get to the Oval Office?
Nothing.
Really?
This is austerity. I mean,
there's not a bowl of peanuts or something?
That's Jimmy Carter.
The wrong
president.
All right, I apologize.
This is frugal.
All right, now, I was just curious, when the camera's not running, do you get a sense of what Bill Clinton is like just as a guy, or he's obviously very media savvy? Do you think is he on guard when the cameras are off?
They always keep telling him, Mr. President, your mic's on, because they remember Ronald Reagan when he said the bombing begins in 5 minutes.
Right.
You got to watch those off mic shots. The one interesting thing he was telling me in preparing for the show, he said, now tell me again the last time a sitting president was on Meet the Press, and they said Jimmy Carter, and he said, what about before that? They said Gerald Ford. He said, guys, those are two one-termers. So suddenly,
get out of here.
Why am I doing this? Was his opening line. You know, who am I? What am I doing here? But it actually was quite a good interview on subjects like NAFTA, Korea. I think the most important thing he said, and didn't make much news, was he spent about 10 minutes talking about the American family, the breakdown of the family, illegitimacy, random crime. And it's the first time that the President of the United States actually talked about a problem that is really tearing our society apart. Talked about the creation of an outer class, not just an underclass. It was a pretty powerful morning. Well,
he's become more passionate lately on some of these issues. He's just a few days ago, he gave a very passionate sermon at a black church for stopping the violence and the crime. And people said it's really a different Clinton.
Yeah, I think...
Do you think he's changing?
I do. I think he is founding his sea legs. I think that the debate over NAFTA convinced him that what the hell, you get up in the morning, you only won with 43% of the vote anyhow. So you might as well get up in the morning and do what you think is right, and if you go down fighting, people will probably respect you for it. You know, he's known as a conciliator, a consensus builder. I think you're going to see a lot more reckless abandon. Let's get out there and, you know, throw the fist a little bit and see what happens.
All right.
It's good for the country.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure. Just jump in.
While you were talking there with the president, yeah, do you have a gold sink? They got many gold sinks at the White House, I'll tell you that. Did Bill say that you look like him? Is there a similarity between this man and Bill Clinton?
A little bit. I think Clinton had other things to talk about.
Separated at birth, huh? Yeah.
Separated at birth. I think so.
Yeah, we didn't get to that, Robert, but I'll let you know. I mean,
he's used to interviewing. This will happen.
My show's for the poor and the anonymous.
Very nice. Very nice.
Another NBC production.
Hey, behave yourself. All right, let's get this show back into control. Andy, would you switch places with Miss...
I'm sorry, Robin.
We have to do this every now and then.
Now I've got a question.
That's all right. Before we go, I know that your wife, is it your girlfriend?
My wife.
Oh, your wife.
God, please. You want to talk about my wife or my... No.
I want to talk about...
My wife. I've been married for...
I didn't mean to say...
I've been married...
We talked in the green room.
One time in my life for 10 years with the same woman. 10 years in 2 weeks, actually. She writes...
She writes for the Village Voice.
No. She writes for Vanity Fair. And she is on Deadline tonight on an article about Michael Jackson, which will be in your January Vanity Fair. It's going to be a bombshell. It really is.
It's a real tight deadline.
Andy, could you get someone else to sit there, please? All right. Well, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to step away for a second, but we'll be right back with Dr. Brazelton. So stick around.